everybody, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Sinead DeFries, and this is The Daily Show, where we bring you the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is AMC Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Stream.tv studios, right here in Hollywood, California. For me, it's Gone Girl Day. I'm very excited about that.
Also here is AMC's very own Miri Jetikin.
It's Gone Girl Day for me, too.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to see it with John later, and I'm super stoked.
Very pumped.
And we've also got one half of the Schmoes Know, Christian Harloff.
I saw Gone Girl already, so... And hey, how are you? You know what I'm talking about.
It's, you know, it's funny. I was watching, I don't know if you saw it, but Ben Affleck was on the Today Show with Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart's like, okay, so you got... Ben Affleck comes out. First of all, Affleck is looking like a monster. He looks like Frankenstein now. And it actually, like, Jon Stewart said something about that. He goes, when you come out and I hug you, I feel like a little kid hugging his dad after the baseball game. But Jon Stewart pulls this thing. If you guys didn't see it, it's on YouTube. You should look this up. Jon Stewart's like, okay, so you've got these two highly anticipated movies coming. You got Gone Girl, you got Batman vs. Superman. Now in Gone Girl, you kill your wife, and in Batman vs. Superman, Superman beats you. So, and then Ben Affleck looks at the cameras, what the F? And they plank it. It was
his voice is raspy too, you know?
Oh yeah, his voice is getting down there too. All right, let's get started with the actual movie news.
After several major delays and a small amount of doubt that the project would ever happen, it appears that the Pirates of the Caribbean 5 movie is back on track and ready to start shooting in Australia in February. The Aussie government made the announcement that they will be contributing over $21 million to the production, and they're expecting to make over $100 million to the local economy with this shoot. Pirates 5 is currently set to hit AMC theaters in July of 2017. John, are you excited for the next Pirates of the Caribbean film?
No. No, well, here's the thing, though. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, no, I'm so tired of these Pirates movies, blah, blah, blah. But this is the Transformers for me. Yeah. Where the first Transformers came out and I loved it, and then the second one sucked and the third one sucked, and they come out with great looking trailers, and every time I go, oh, but I got a good feeling about this one, and the fourth one sucked. Pirates of the Caribbean is going to be that for me. So I can sit here and I can tell you, I don't need this, I'm not excited for it, but as soon as they start putting out the trailers, because man, Bruckheimer knows how to put out a trailer, and I'm going to get excited again, and then I'm probably going to see it, and it's going to really let me down again. Now, that being said, the different thing they're doing with Pirates of the Caribbean 5 from the other ones is they went out and got, I'm forgetting their last names, but the two guys who directed Kon-Tiki, which was like, you think, wait, these guys are directing Pirates of the Caribbean. That's fascinating to me. That actually sounds really cool. So they've got that going for it. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. And we can't forget, we can all say, well, why are they making another one? Pirates of the Caribbean 4 made over $1 billion worldwide, so we can't lose sight of that either. So, but the simple answer, am I excited about this? No. Christian?
No, I'm not excited. I'm quite amazed every time I see it on the ticker here, because no one's really excited for it anytime we ever talk about it. Yeah. But to go over the points that you just made, and that's they made money, they continue to. But the big thing that I took from the story, you referenced Transformers. What I think is brilliant about what they're doing here is the fact that they're getting money from Australia. It's going to do very well in Australia, as Transformers did in China. Yeah. It's smart to go and play to those different countries that maybe you know that the audience here in the U.S. is not as excited for it. And maybe in other places of the world, say Australia, other places too, you shoot there, you get money for it. And it's a smart move, so I think it was brilliant what they did.
Mary?
I'm excited for the Australian economy.
Yeah.
I like Australians, so good.
Yay, Australian
but
economy.
yeah, I mean, in terms of seeing the film, I don't feel like anything fresh or new is going to come out of a number 5. I'm with you. I didn't like really any of the sequels. I liked them less and less and less, and now I just feel like it's homework. Like, oh God, I'm going to have to see it.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that gives me hope for it right now is that, well, two things. Number one, as bad as the previous 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films have been, I'm always entertained watching Johnny Depp do his shtick. I am.
Yeah,
and I'll probably
fun.
be entertained watching him do it again. But like I said before, it's like, these guys directing, this is interesting. Or not. All right, what's next?
It seems like the whole will Robert Downey Jr. continue to play Iron Man discussion has been going on forever, and it seems RDJ is stirring up the pot. In a recent discussion with The Hollywood Reporter, Downey was asked about playing Iron Man, to which he replied with the following: "I'm sure we'll ride that thing. You've got to surf that all the way into shore. I think I was at the forefront of something that was coming into being, and I think it has carried me as much as I have informed it." Christian, what do you make of Downey's remarks?
What I make of Downey's remarks is that you should get very, very excited by Avengers Age of Ultron, because that means that he had a lot of fun on the set, from which I'm hearing as well, too. Is that, now, not that he wasn't having fun beforehand, too, but once you are, you could get, fatigue could set in after a while, but the fact that he played Tony Stark again in this movie in London, and it is I think making him excited again to be playing Tony Stark. So maybe he's trying to say, you know what, maybe I can do an Iron Man 4. That could work out. Let's see what happens. And I think that's why you should get encouraged, because I feel that he tuned back into Avengers, and that's why he's saying what he's saying.
Mary?
Yeah, I like what he had to say, particularly because he recognizes the balance between his evolution as the character and the films themselves. Like he was Iron Man when Marvel movies were completely reinvigorated.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting to see him recognize that, and I agree with you. I think it's exciting. We know he's been attached to these films, so we know he's going to be Iron Man, but the fact that he feels such a symbiosis with the brand and that he feels so connected to the brand, for me, it's a nice thing. I mean, I'm starting to feel like Robert Downey Jr. maybe is Tony Stark, and I feel like even in public appearances, he's really been embodying that. If you saw him at Comic-Con, this past year with the roses, I mean, he's very much playing the role of Tony Stark. I feel like it has entered his limbic brain, subconscious, so I think it'll be really fun to see him in the upcoming films.
I love these comments, but the main reason I love these comments is not because we're getting our first glimpse that maybe there's hope, because I still believe Avengers 3 will be the last time we see him as Iron Man, but this is the first sign of hope that, hey, maybe they might extend this deal. It's never been about, I think, whether Robert Downey Jr. wants to come back. It's whether or not he's been willing to get over himself a little bit and be willing to come back for a more reasonable price, because Marvel is very frugal when it comes to their stuff, and that's where the problems have always been. To me, the really exciting thing is, as a Robert Downey Jr. fan, this is the first time I've actually heard him kind of acknowledge, yeah, I was basically almost a nobody again before Iron Man came along. Iron Man made my career again, as much as I gave to it. And for me to hear him acknowledge that is very, very exciting. We haven't seen him, I mean, there's a debate to be had about Sherlock Holmes and whatnot, but he has not had a mega hit outside of playing Tony Stark, whether that's in Avengers or Iron Man or whatever. And I think maybe he's recognizing that and showing a little bit of appreciation for it. So to hear him kind of come around to that way of thinking, realizing, hey, Iron Man is successful because of me as much as I am successful because of Iron Man, and saying, hey, maybe we'll ride this thing out. You got to be excited about that.
And those are the key words, is ride this thing out, too, because he's in his 50s now, or he's going to be close to it, and to be able to play this as long as he can, and as long as he's allowed to. Feed your family, man. Do it, and you're doing it. You're a great actor. Feed your family. Do what you have to do.
Caviar.
For as long as you can. Play it but that's why I was bringing up that thing with Avengers. As long as you still love it, and it seems like he does, and as long as he still loves it and likes playing the character, I don't think there's anybody out there that wants to see him recast. Sign the deal for as long as you can, dude, because we're going to support you.
Yeah, I've always said, if you have to recast him, recast him. I'm totally fine with that. But all other things being equal, get him back. And I'm so glad you brought up the thing, he's in his 50s. The great thing about Iron Man and Tony Stark is that this isn't Peter Parker. It's like, you can't have a 45-year-old Peter Parker, no, but you can have a 55-year-old Tony Stark. You can totally do that, so that's kind of interesting. All right, folks, to reach that part of the show for buy or sell, here's how this works. In front of her, Sinead's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Sinead, what do we got?
While promoting his new critically acclaimed performance in Whiplash, actor J.K. Simmons took a moment to comment about his upcoming 2015 film, Terminator Genisys, which has been shrouded in secrecy. Simmons said the following: "It's a gigantic movie, and that was such a surprise when they sent it to me and asked me to do it. I thought, well, obviously it's a gigantic movie, and on that level, it's something most actors would want to be a part of. But is it just going to be the formulaic yada, 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 then cut to the stuff blowing up? But I found the script to be really much more intelligent and fun and funny and well-rounded and heartfelt. It's a love story. It's a really interesting script. They got great actors, and I wrapped that in August, so that was another movie that ended up being really satisfying on all levels. I have a much smaller part in it, but it was a really fun thing to be a part of." Miri, buy or sell Simmons' comments?
I'm going to buy this only because the first thing I think about when I hear these words is the Seinfeld episode with yada, yada, yada. So those of you Seinfeld fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Came back from dinner, yada, yada,
yada. So I just saw Whiplash last night. I was blown away by it.
Isn't he great in it?
It's I think gives maybe the performance of his career. We know he's a very storied actor, and he's done a lot of different kinds of films. And it's very encouraging to hear a real character actor who's very intelligent and makes incredible choices say such positive things about what could be a mindless blockbuster sci-fi action film. And I think it's great. I buy it wholeheartedly.
I'm going to buy this too, not because, oh, look, an actor is saying great things about a movie he's in. This was volunteered.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't say, tell us about this and tell us about this and tell us about this. They just asked him about, hey, how's Terminator Genisys going? And he, on his own volition, and look, he's not a guy who'll just talk. He's saying, I loved this script. I thought the set was great. He made further comments in the same interview talking about how there was no divas on this set. Everybody was fun to work with. Everybody's having a good time. I thought the script was great. The narrative was wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And to have a guy like that say that about a film that I am both excited about but a little bit skeptical about is really encouraging to me. So for me, it's a buy.
It's a huge buy for me as well, too, because yes, it's J.K. Simmons saying it as well. And listen, I'd watch this guy play hopscotch with a cartoon cat for 3 hours if I could. So
that sounds good.
It sounds fun. But to listen to him go over everything that when they signed on this team, because when they announced that the movie was coming back, that's when I was skeptical, because they were like, oh, it's cash grab. But when they started putting together the team with Alan Moore, and with some of the cast from Game of Thrones and the cast that they put together, the stories and the rumors of what was going on, then I started to think maybe this is what could happen. And to hear him echo the thoughts I was hoping is very encouraging. And that is why I buy it. I cannot wait. I'm actually very excited for the next Terminator film.
1 to 10. Chances J.K. Simmons gets an Academy Award nomination for Whiplash
10.
for Best Supporting Actor.
You think 10? I would say like 7 or 8, only because I don't know what else. We haven't seen everything that's.
I'm going to say 9. I think it's a 9.
10. I think it's a guarantee.
All right, what's next?
As most of you know, a sequel to the 2013 film Now You See Me is going into production and will hit AMC theaters on June 10th, 2016. Now it seems Harry Potter himself is joining the magical team. According to actor Michael Caine, Daniel Radcliffe is in the new film. Caine said the following: "There's a sequel to Now You See Me and we're shooting in London. I shoot in December, the whole of December in London, and my son is Harry Potter. I thought it'd be funny, me and Daniel Radcliffe as father and son. John, buy or sell Daniel Radcliffe joining Now You See Me 2.
Surprisingly enough, I'm going to buy this because Daniel Radcliffe is one of these guys who, coming out of Harry Potter, you all wonder is he going to be able to succeed, and I did not think he got out of the gate strong. I did not like Woman in Black. I know there's some people who did. I thought it was actually a very flat movie, and I thought Daniel was actually kind of flat in it. He didn't do horrible, though. Didn't do horrible. But then he did Kill My Darlings, which I thought he was quite good in, actually. Then that little comedy, What If? I actually thought he carried that film really well. I thought he did a little bit of a Robert Downey Jr. in that film where you saw some of his personality coming out, and I really liked it. Now, I was not a big fan of the first Now You See Me. I thought Now You See Me was a bit of a missed opportunity, but it's like an underworld film to me. Didn't really like it, but there's so much good potential stuff there. I'm all up for a sequel. So I'm warming up to a sequel, and adding Daniel Radcliffe as Michael Caine's son, that could be interesting for me. It's a buy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to buy the choice of using him as his son because aside from everything you've just said, I actually think casting-wise it's believable to see him play the son. And, you know, he obviously has a background in magic. Being Harry Potter, of course, I was like, of course he gets the magic part. I don't buy the sequel because I really did not like the first film, despite the fact that it did really, really well. But like you said, adding him to the cast could make an interesting tension between him and the other magicians, charlatans, whatever you want to call them. They're not really charlatans, but I buy the choice of Daniel Radcliffe, even though I sell the movie.
I'd buy it. I buy it big, and I'll tell you why. Harry Potter as an evil magician? Yes, yes. If you didn't watch Now You See Me, then sorry, it's a spoiler. But like what Michael Caine did there at the end of that movie, he's looking for revenge, and he's gonna have his son do it, and it's gonna be Harry Potter. Yes, sign me up. New tricks, and to watch a different kind of magic come from him, it's gonna be fun. And I'm with you guys. I didn't love the first Now You See Me. I watched it again on cable. I don't know if you guys have seen it again since you saw it in the theater, but I enjoyed it more as a cable movie. But I enjoyed it for what it was, and I thought Ruffalo was great. I wonder if he's going to come back. I wonder how much. I think the majority of them are all coming back.
I think the main crew are all coming back. Yeah,
so I mean, I'm actually, from where the story went, I'm excited to see it loop back around, and then with this edition of the revenge story, which I assume it's going to be, yeah, I'm really excited for it. Whether or not I should be, that's another topic.
I'm a little concerned about John M. Chu. Directing it.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see. I think the jury's still out on him a little bit. I haven't been thrilled with what we've seen from him so far, but jury's still. Although I will tell you this right now, I will pay double the admission price to see this movie. I hope you're listening. I will pay double the admission price if at some point in this movie Radcliffe falls down and gets up with a slight lightning bolts, kind of soar on his head. I would pay double the admission.
You joke about that, but do you think that they're going to have to reference something?
Yes, I hope they do.
How can you not? It's going to be, you know what it is? Some people might say to make a Harry Potter joke would be distracting.
No.
I think it's so obvious that if you don't acknowledge the quip there, that would be distracting.
He screams out like one of the spells and goes, I saw it in a movie.
No, it would be great, and I think that's the whole, that's the joke, and that's the punchline, and if they do that, then they're bringing the audience in and winking at the audience, and it's an inclusive thing. I think they should totally do that.
All right, what's next?
According to a report in Variety, Steven Spielberg's cinematographer Janusz Kaminski's next film is Indiana Jones 5 in 2015. The connection is mentioned in an offhanded remark in a story about Kaminski's involvement in an online course for aspiring filmmakers without any further details. Christian, buy or sell that Kaminski is going into production on Indiana Jones 5 in 2015.
I sell it. And I sell it because until I hear that they announced that there's an Indiana Jones 5, there's all these rumors and everything going down, until they announce Indiana Jones 5 is happening, it's for sure, it's going down, then I'm not going to start piecing in, well, that person's doing that and that person's that, because I'm not getting excited yet. Because they still need to get me excited because, have you seen part 4? So I'm not getting excited yet. I would be more excited if I started hearing rumors that Harrison Ford had the fedora on and was testing himself out on the set of episode 7. Then I'd be like, woohoo, that's a cool rumor. This isn't that exciting to me.
I got to sell it's going to happen. It's funny because I read the Variety article, and it's a very interesting article. It's about Kaminski and William Pfister, and I can't remember who the third guy is, but these 3 seasoned Hollywood cinematographers doing an online course about filmmaking in Hollywood. Sounds fascinating, but I'm reading this article. It's not all that long. And just, Kaminski, he's worked on this Spielberg, and his next project's Indiana Jones 5, and blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, how do you just drop a little something like that in there without it being the headline news on Variety? I think this was a slip. I think maybe this is something Kaminski's talking about, or it's a rumor they heard from somebody.
Like
they don't directly source Kaminski as the guy as saying it. So, look, if there was any validity to this at all, this would have been front page news on every site right now. And so for now, I got to sell it.
Yeah, I sell it because I also sell this whole notion of rumors and conjecture being news. And I think it's a big problem in our industry as entertainment reporters and film reporters. There's so much blather and noise on the internet of rumors and things that are maybe, and you're right, there's been no source that's legit saying this is going to happen.
I'll give you a great example.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I just wanted to defend that sometimes why rumors are out there too. For film fans, it is excited with the process of what things are going to happen. So if there was something to where, will Indiana Jones come back? Will we have the cinematographer? The wills and that kind of to start conversation, I am actually all for sites. I think that gets the more excitement and actually helps sell tickets if you want to be. But in regards, sometimes people do it irresponsibly.
That's what I'm saying, is that I feel like there's a slippery slope. I agree with you. It's always fun for us film geeks to talk about the possibilities that might exist around these sorts of comments and throwaways. I just feel like it's happening a lot more. It's escalating, and these sites from God knows where are reporting stuff, and then it gets blown up, and it's on every site, and then it turns out to not be true. And I just feel like until, like you said, until it's announced, I always have this trepidation around news, and I sell it because we would have heard more of the way marketing is happening around these kinds of films now. There's always these little viral things that get released, and Indiana Jones is such a huge fan favorite. It has such a legacy. They wouldn't just drop it like this. There would be something else. There would be more forethought around how it gets disseminated into the public. So
and that's not to say it's an impossibility that hey, there could be plans in the works, but I just think it's premature to run with something like that. I'll give you a great example because I agree with you wholeheartedly about how it breaks my heart when we are a part of an online movie news community and movie blogging community, and it breaks my heart when I see our community being directly responsible for willfully misleading our own readers.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's a great example. I'm throwing it out here as a story. This is not one of our items today. I had a bunch of people tweet me, hey, Johnny, on AMC Movie Talk today, you're going to talk about this whole thing about Ethan Hawke is going to be Doctor Strange instead of Joaquin Phoenix. It's like, no, we're not going to run with that because that is a rumor that was started by somebody, some site who said they heard it from somebody, and then a bunch of sites, and I read one, I'm not going to name it, but one prominent movie site that said, Joaquin out, Ethan in. Hawke knew Doctor Strange. It's like, that's not true. I mean, is there a chance it's true? true? Right. Sure, but right now the only source of it is one site said they heard from some unnamed source, and that's not enough to run with headlines like that. Is it fun to speculate? Absolutely, that's what we do as film fans. I mean, that's what we did on Far, Far Away the other day, like all day. We speculate because it's fun.
Speculation's different, and I think you're right. I think speculation, when it's housed and announced and named as speculation, is fine. It's great. But when you're saying something is fact, not to, we're getting carried away. That's not what happened here with this Indiana Jones news. But when you're saying something is fact and it's not, it's irresponsible as a journalist.
Sure.
So I feel like this is exciting because I love Indiana Jones, but you're right, Crystal Skull wasn't exactly a home run.
It's garbage.
Don't hold back, tell me how I really feel. But that said, I go back to like how studios behave around these kinds of big releases now. They don't just drop stuff. They have NDAs, and there's all these kinds of things that are built out into experiential marketing and viral marketing, and it just wouldn't be announced this way, and I feel like it is irresponsible for sites to jump on it as if it's legitimate news.
All right. All right, well, that will do it for the buy and sell segment. It's time for us to get into mailbag. Listen, folks, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, we're going to try to save a couple of minutes at the end of the show as well to take some of your live Twitter questions. If you happen to be watching us live right now, you can send in those Twitter questions to @AMCMovieNews. But for now, let's get to the mailbag. So, Sinead, what's in there?
The first one comes from Eric Barrios. Eric writes, "Hey AMC, I've been a loyal listener the past month since I found out about you guys. I love the show. My question is, since the New York Comic Con is right around the corner, do you guys think we will finally get a teaser trailer or trailer for Star Wars Episode 7, since we didn't get anything at SDCC this past summer? When will we get anything before 2015? Thanks."
Nah.
Will we get anything? I don't think.
Before 2015, well, let's deal with the two separate questions. One, will they drop something at Comic-Con, or at New York Comic-Con, I should say? No, I don't think they will, because I think there would be a big hype buildup to it. Star Wars isn't a property that you, surprise, here's a trailer. They would hype that up like crazy to draw so much attention to it.
Something's coming.
Yeah, and rightfully so. They would be right to do that. By 2015, more intriguing question, because by the end of this year, by the end of 2014, we are 1 year. Now we're going to be in that 1 year window for the new Star Wars. I know, I to quote Star-Lord, I just had a little bit of pee come out of me, just thinking about it. So we will be in that 1 year window. There are some very significant films opening up on, say, Christmas Day. I wouldn't put money on it. If I had to put money on it, I'd say no, we aren't going to see anything before the end of the year. But I believe there is like a 30% chance that by Christmas we will have something. I just don't think it's going to be New York Comic Con.
Do you think it could be a poster or images? Because they haven't really released any of that, and I feel like that's kind of where they go first. They go with stills first. Like maybe they'll release a poster.
See, I don't think we're going to get either a poster, a title, or a trailer. But once again, I do believe by end of year.
Something.
I wouldn't bet on it, but 30% chance. 30% chance.
Possibility of a title, but very unlikely. I'd give that maybe a 3% chance for a title. But because the reason why is New York Comic Con is not the mecca, say San Diego Comic Con is. That's not to say that a story like this could not help them out. And who knows what's happening behind closed doors, and maybe Disney wants to help push New York Comic Con along. That's possible. Do I think that's probable? Probably not. In regards to do I think that we'll get a trailer by the end of the year, bringing up Far, Far Away again, you and I talked about this on Monday, was that it would be amazing to get that right before The Hobbit.
Describe, for those of you who don't, we were on the Geek Nation podcast, Far, Far Away, that Christian hosts, and describe to me, we were talking about the potential of a trailer, right? And Christian brought up, look, I don't even need a trailer. All I need to see is this. Please describe to the viewers what you explained to me.
This is my idea of a trailer that we all would need. It would be this quick, is that it opens up, and you see, you scroll down, and all you see are the two sons of Tatooine, and then a hooded figure comes off. It's Luke with the gnarly beard.
Come on.
Episode 7, but you got to hear. Who's
I just got chills.
See, goosebumps,
Yeah.
goosebumps. More pee, like goosebumps and more pee.
Hire me, Disney.
Like that would be
Somebody
awesome.
get this man Depends immediately.
All right, what's next?
All right, this one comes from Justin Square. Justin writes, "Hey AMC movie crew, thanks for being more vital to my day than breakfast. Quick question. According to Box Office Mojo, the first two Taken films have grossed over $602 million worldwide collectively. Do you think Taken 3, I refuse to write it the other way, will bring this total over $1 billion. Thanks.
Yes, yes, I do. While the box office for Taken 2 was slightly down in the North American market, I believe it was up internationally. The Taken 2 made over $340-something million on a worldwide scale on a $45 million budget. That is math that works. And what it shows is that Hollywood star power is more, like a Liam Neeson, is more predominant overseas than it is in North America. Like, we've talked for a long time about how the big movie star is no longer the big box office draw. It's now more the movie. But the Hollywood movie star is still very much a draw overseas. This movie now only needs, I can't remember how much more. I think it'll get to, I think it'll bring the series to $1 billion. I do. I think it's going to do quite well. And the new trailer that dropped that we talked about yesterday certainly helped its cause, because that trailer looked better than I was expecting. Christian?
That's exactly what my point was going to be. I think that the reason why it'll take it over, I do think that it'll cross that mark as well. Because they were smart and they said, we can't do the same thing that we've been doing. It's just not going to work, because we've lost viewers from the second one. What's the third one? And now you get this fugitive-like movie with Liam Neeson.
That's exactly the illustration I made. Fugitive.
It's the Fugitive. It's the Fugitive, and you watch Liam Neeson as the Fugitive with his special skills, knowing that these cops and people that are hunting him are not going to have an easy time doing this.
And Forrest Whitaker is your Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes, and be able to do that now, because now that we've been through 2 adventures with this guy, to see him on the other side now on the run, that's fun. And I think that that's going to add to a lot of box office.
Yeah, I agree. Taken 2 for me was a big disappointment, because I actually really liked the first one, and I saw the trailer and I was very excited about, like you said, the direction they're going in.
It's garbage.
You're just really holding back. You need to stop being so coy.
Sorry, I apologize.
On this show. I feel like Liam Neeson in general, if you just look at distribution and sales, he's like a sure bet, and that's why he keeps asking for the big bucks, because his movies make so much money. And you're right, the international market loves him. They eat him up. They'll go see his movies. So I think the notion that it'll go over $1 billion, and if it doesn't, then it might just get really, really, really close. I think if it's not on or around, it will be very close. Like it'll be very close in either direction, because he's just a bankable star. He's one of the best. He's one of the ones that I think foreign sales agents look for, because they know his movies are going to make money. So there's that aspect, and then there's also the aspect of the trailer is just so damn good. So
somebody emailed me, one of our fans emailed me last night and said, Taken 4. Liam Neeson goes on a hunt for a laundromat owner when one of his favorite shirts goes missing. I thought, yes.
I think they should do a Taken 4, 24 Jump Street.
Oh my gosh.
Something.
Can you imagine Liam Neeson in a 24 Jump Street movie?
Would be amazing.
How about Liam Neeson versus all the Expendables?
That I would see.
All right, folks, so I said we'd leave a couple minutes at the end for some Twitter questions, and we're going to do that right now. So Sinead's been monitoring the Twitter stream. So Sinead, what do we have?
In the spirit of fall, at DanHipster777 wants to know, what is your guys' favorite Halloween-themed movie? Mine is still Hocus Pocus or The Craft.
Favorite Halloween-themed movie?
I mean, mine's Halloween. It's terrifying. That movie terrifies me. I saw it as a child, and I think it's one of the most effective horror movies. That single piano playing, Michael Myers. I don't know. I just feel like Halloween is the quintessential Halloween movie that I watch. Also, Rocky Horror Picture Show it's not necessarily a Halloween movie, but it always plays at midnight on Halloween in theaters, and people go and dress up, and so that's another one for me.
I actually don't like Halloween, the original.
Party pooper.
I know.
It's like the Scrooge.
Okay, this is, I don't know if this really fits, but I believe I can make an argument there are definitely strong Halloween themes in the movie. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Stole mine.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Sorry about
Great
that.
one.
But like that's delightful.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Even
movie.
though he's essentially trying to save Christmas, he's the spirit of Halloween. So you could watch them both.
All right, what's next?
Okay, the next question comes from @Rachel J. Cushing. Has Pixar been dethroned by movies like Frozen, Despicable Me 2, Lego Movie, etc., or will the studio behind Toy Story always be #1?
Just talking about
We were
this.
like just talking about this before the show started. Pixar, have they put out a couple of films that don't measure up to Pixar standards? Yes, but this is still the studio that gave us Ratatouille, Up, WALL-E, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, studios like Warner Brothers, hey, they hit one out of the park with Lego. I mean, they did. They hit one out of the park. Come back to me when you got 7 in a row that aren't just good, but could make an argument are like one of the best films of the year. Once you got like 7 or 8 in a row. And, you know, I'm not even going to call it a teaser. A new commercial just came out for the new Pixar film, Inside Out, which I've been talking about since last April. I know you guys. This, trust me, Inside Out, I've seen about 15 or 20 minutes of footage from this film. Inside Out is the absolute tour de force return to prominence of Pixar. This movie is going to rule. Like, absolutely. So, no, to me, you gotta, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And to me, Pixar's still the man, and the crown is still on its head. And I think once Inside Out comes out, there's gonna be no doubt. Every knee will bow. I mean, that's the sort of thing. Anyway, what do you think?
Well, you know, we were talking about this before, this like sort of teaser light. You know, even though they only showed 6 or 8 seconds of the actual movie, to lead up to it, they showed all the emotional cues that you would get by watching all these other Pixar movies, and I got teary and I got chills just remembering all the movies that they've come out with over the last 10, 12 years. And watching them and remembering all the emotional responses. And Up, when he's looking at the album of him and his wife, and I literally started to cry. Like, Pixar is so good at blending all of these wonderful elements of an animated film and completely raising the bar and breaking ground every time. And they're the ones to beat, you're right.
Disney is Mike Tyson and Pixar is Muhammad Ali. As to where you have this, right now Disney is just throwing hooks with Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen and everything. They're doing it great, and their movies, and even Big Hero 6 looks like it's going to be something pretty special. They're the popular kid in town right now. Pixar has had a couple missteps, whether it be with Brave, and some people love Monsters Inc. 2. Wasn't a huge fan of it, but it's still they made a lot of money as well. It's just they haven't had the quality of, say, the other movies. But Pixar, I agree with you. I saw some of Inside Out as well. This is going to be something great.
I can't wait.
The humor, everything that you knew about a Pixar film, that you loved about a Pixar film, this seems to encapture that. Hopefully it does it through the longevity of the film. But yeah, Pixar's Pixar, and they haven't had stinkers. What stinker can you really say that they've done?
Yeah, no, you can't.
They're quality. They're continuing to be quality. They're the all-time best.
Here's the thing for me about Pixar. What I've always made the argument, historically, the argument I've always made about Pixar is that Pixar does not make kid films. They make kid-friendly films.
Right.
Like you were talking about those scenes in Up when Carl is looking at the pictures and the death of his wife and all that. These are not kid themes, but what they are adult, relatable themes. Incredibles is a movie targeted, I'm telling you, that movie is targeted to 45-year-old men. Yeah. That's what that movie is targeted for.
With kids.
Yeah, with kids, people with children and kids. Yeah. But they package them in a way that is very deliverable to children, that they're going to love it too.
Brilliant.
When Pixar has made missteps, it's been when they have made kid films like Brave, like Cars, and to an extent, like Monsters Inc. 2. And I kind of liked Monsters Inc. 2, but it was pale in comparison to the first one. Trust me, Inside Out 2 is a return to the adult films friendly for children, for Pixar, and I think they're going to absolutely crush it. I'm so excited. All right, folks, that'll do it. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Don't forget, lots of great films opening and playing in AMC theaters right now, including Gone Girl, Annabelle, The Good Lie, lots of them playing there. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and of course, your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll find a link to our podcast feed. And don't forget to click that thumbs up button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank, first of all, the people sitting at the table with me. Sitting to my right, the one and the only Miss Miri Jedikin. Miri, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Miri the Jedi on Twitter and Instagram.
And of course, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you? Well,
Jedi Council's coming back soon, and those Star Wars questions, you keep them coming at Christian Harloff on Twitter, or just find me on Instagram. Same thing.
You know, I still haven't told Paul we're bringing Jedi Council back. I should probably let him know. And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Sinead DeFries. Sinead, where can people find you online?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Sinead DeFries or at thatsosinead.com.
I love that web address, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's so cool. And of course, you can find me on all the various social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, at John Campea. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campea. Hey, if you're in the Burbank, Los Angeles area, come on down to the AMC Burbank 16 tonight. That's where we're going to go see Gone Girl and say hi. So until next time, my name's John Campea for AMC Movie News. And until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.